All right guys, Rudy here from Ridgeline, and we're back for part 3. So part 3 here, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the finer points, the internals, the buffer systems and triggers and stuff like that. Just kind of little things that we thought would make the LPR just a little bit sweeter. So let's go ahead, we'll hop back in the QC room here and we'll talk a little bit more about what we got going on under the hood. So before we go to the external parts of the rifle, we need to go a little bit further back into the receiver and talk about bolts and the buffer system as well. So talking about bolts, so our bolt size, dimensions are a standard TDP spec. There's not really much reason to deviate from this, like from a reliability standpoint, like they work really well. The one thing we did change was we added a DLC coating to it. And again, this technology has been out for quite a long time, but it still doesn't seem to be quite an industry standard. And really what this is allowing us to do is just to clean the system. Like AR-15s are naturally going to be a little bit dirty, but the difference between a standard phosphate bolt and say DLC, it's kind of a night and day difference when you're cleaning. So this bolt has probably a couple hundred rounds on it, so you can kind of see the logo there. It's a little bit covered up. Again, literally you can rub this off and it's pretty much ready to go again. So you just get a rag, you wipe it down with a little bit of oil, and what used to take freaking 15 minutes of like hard scrubbing now takes like 1 minute and 30. So it's a small thing, but again, we're living in 2024. I see no reason to upgrade bolts. It's a little bit more expensive, again, price point, but it's going to make your life way easier. So I'm a huge fan of that. And moving a little bit further back into the gun here, I want to talk about the buffer system in relationship to our gas length. So our gas length is a intermediate gas length, and the buffer system we're using is a Vltor A5. So if you kind of look down here, we have a standard carbine spring with a standard buffer, and we have the Vltor A5 kind of laid out here. So as you can tell, the Vltor is a little bit longer. So as the spring goes, we're looking at, essentially, a good 2 extra inches on here. The buffer itself, the actual buffer tube, is only, I think it's maybe 3/4 of an inch longer. So you're not really giving up a whole lot in terms of like your overall length, but the Vltor A5 system is significantly smooth. I've been shooting them for quite a while, so we wanted to pair that buffer system with our intermediate gas tube. And this, hands down, is probably one of the softest shooting rifles that you're going to find out there, that also maintains reliability. So that's always kind of been the balance point here, is we wanted to build a rifle that was super accurate. We wanted to build a rifle that was super reliable. Those two things, balancing those two things out, that's the challenge. That's where most of this R&D goes into, trying different stuff. And again, this is what we came up with, and it works freaking amazing. Coming out to the muzzle device, so obviously this one is set up with a Surefire RC3. Our production guns come with a standard A2 flash hider. Main reason behind this is I know all of you guys have your favorite flavor of suppressor, so you're going to probably take that off and put whatever you want on. The fact is though, we wanted this gun to be out of the box, ready to go. And it's legitimately pretty hard to actually beat an A2 for just a standard flash hider compensator combo. If you want to take it off, you can take it off. If you want to run it out of the box, it's going to work pretty not bad. But again, it's a standard 1.5 28 thread, so feel free to take it off, put whatever you want on it. So the buttstock, we went with a standard CTR buttstock. A lot of people are like, why did you do CTR? So a couple different things that the CTR can do. You can add Arisaka bag rider, you can add the LaRue cheek pieces to it. Like, it's a very adaptable system. Again, I understand it's not for everybody, so I think it's a pretty good compromise at a price point where it's a very usable thing for the gun to show up with, but if you don't like it, you don't have to feel too bad about putting it in the old part box. All right, so that was part 3. We kind of got down into the weeds, those little details that make that LPR what it is.
I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe, like, especially for part 4. So part 4 is going to be really good for you guys. We're going to go into some of the details behind our testing protocol for each rifle before it leaves. So go ahead, make sure you guys stay tuned, and I'll see you guys out at the range for this next one.